What are demons? Isn't that an amazing question? In our society today, there's just a huge amount of media coverage of ghost hunting and demon hunting and supernatural phenomena stuff. And so the question implies, what is a demon? We tend to go kind of either direction on this thing. People tend to kind of go like there is no such thing. That's all just fairy tale stuff and stories. That's not real. All the good and evil exist is just in humanity. And then the other extreme is, behind every corner there's a ghost or demon trying to do damage. And so I think that if we're going to really understand what demons are and how they work, it's important to understand where they came from. It's important to understand what their objectives are. And it's important to understand what the limitations or boundaries of their influence are. And so where we want to start is where they began. All demons are simply fallen angels. At some point in the history of time, there was a civil war in heaven. The leader of the civil war was Lucifer, and he decided that he would be better suited for God's job and attempted to take over. In this battle, of course, he is a great deceiver. He is very, very alluring, and so he convinced 1/3 of the angels to join his side. And so when the battle was lost, that 1/3 of heaven was evicted. And the way it's described is they were cast down. Something happened in that time. When they were cast down, they lost their form. And this is what makes a significant separation between angels who are righteous and have not fallen, and demons who were angels that have fallen because of their rebellion against God. When they fell, they lost their form. Now, one of the things you're going to notice in the scriptures, you never find an angel inside anyone or anything. And by the same token, you never find a demon taking on concrete, touchable form. However, you find angels showing up and talking with people and having contact with people. You find Jacob actually wrestled with an angel. You find angels preparing food for angels. And in Hebrews, even in the New Covenant, it says it's possible that we could be entertaining angels unaware, that they can literally take on and completely imitate human form. Whereas you never see an angel inside anything, but you do see demons inside people, places, animals, all in the scriptures. So what happened is, if you look in Matthew chapter 12, Jesus gives a great account of this and helps us understand that when an unclean spirit, and that is what another name for their demons, unclean spirits, fallen angels, those names all apply. When an unclean spirit goes out of a man, it says that he goes into dry places and trying to find rest, but he can't find any rest. He's miserable and he's tormented. And so he returns to his house, the place he was evicted from. And if he finds his house is still habitable, it's still there, it's good, then he has run into more buddies wandering in this desert, and he brings them into the shelter that he has found. So there's a couple things about this. We'll talk about strongholds in another segment. But that's what we want to recognize, that was the house, was the stronghold that the unclean spirit was living in. And when he was kicked out of that host, kicked out of that shelter he had found, it was as if he were in, and if you can imagine this, being in a desert, like Death Valley, with no water, and yet you're unable to die or even be unconscious. You're just in discomfort and misery. And this is the state of fallen angels when they don't have a place to rest, which is a stronghold that can be housed in an individual. It can be housed in a social agenda or arena, locking it down in a geographical area. And the true power that we'll talk about in another segment is the power to destroy strongholds. So demons are simply angels that fell. They can't take concrete form. They cannot take concrete form. Angels can take concrete form, not demons. And the only influence demons have is by suggesting things, putting thoughts in our mind to do evil. And that's their only power. So if we resist them, then they have no power. But there seems to always be somebody they can find that will listen to them. Every evil thing that has ever been done since the beginning of humanity was done because someone believed a lie. The reason someone believed a lie is because they were lied to. And all lies originate with the adversary and his crew. So this is where demons are, and this is where they end.